In this lesson, we are going to talk about solving quadratic equations by factoring. Let's start with this example. It says solve x squared minus 25 equals to 0. Now what I can simply see, I can rewrite as x squared minus 5 squared, that is 25. This is the difference of the squares. So I can apply this formula or this identity, which is a squared minus b squared. That is the difference of the squares of two numbers a and b. The identity is a plus b into a minus b. That is your first term plus second term and first term minus second term. Same thing we can apply here. We can rewrite this as x plus 5 and x minus 5, and that is equals to 0. Now if the product of two expressions is equal to 0, then at least one of them is going to be equal to 0. So it's either x plus 5 equals to 0 or it's x minus 5 equals to 0. We need to find the value of x. The 5 is in addition. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So I subtracted 5 on both sides. It got cancelled. The value of x equals to negative 5 in this case. Now this is subtraction. Opposite of subtraction is addition. So I added 5. The value of x came out as 5. Let's consider one more example like that. Let's say we have 4x squared minus 81 is equals to 0. Solve for x. I think 4x squared is a perfect square of 2x and 81 is the square of 9. It's again the difference of squares. So I can write them as first term plus second term. So first term is 2x and second term is 9, and that's first term minus second term. Now if the product of two expressions is equal to 0, either the first expression equal to 0 or the second expression is equals to 0. Now simplifying that, we need to find x. This 9 is in addition. I want to get rid of that. So I'll subtract 9 from both sides. I got 2x equals to negative 9. 2 is in multiply. What's opposite of multiply? Divide. So the value of x came out to be negative 9 over 2. In the other part, this 9 is in subtraction. So I'll add 9 on both sides. I got 2x equals to 9. 2 is in multiply. Opposite of multiply is divide. So I got x equals to 9 over 2 as the answer. Let's solve. 2x squared minus 72 is equals to 0. Now in this case, 2x squared and 72, they both are not perfect squares of whole numbers. So in this case, we'll find out what is the GCF. The GCF, the greatest common factor of 2 and 72 is 2. So I can take out the GCF as common. Now if you divide 2x squared by 2, you get x squared. And if you divide 72 by 2, you get 36. I can write this as x squared minus 6 squared. That's again the difference of the squares. I can write this as first term plus second term and first term minus second term. That's equal to 0. This gives me either the first expression equals to 0 or the second expression is equals to 0. Take 6 to the other side. So value of x comes out to be negative 6 in this case. And if you take 6 to the other side, that becomes positive 6 in this side. And these are your answer. Let's try a trinomial with the leading coefficient of 1. X squared minus 7x plus 12 is equals to 0. Now in this case, the leading coefficient, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So I want to find two factors of 12 in such a way that when you add them, you get this negative 7. So find the factors of 12. Now in this case, we know we can easily figure it out, but let me tell you, if the number is like a little bit higher, how you do it. You start from 1. What you will multiply with 1 to make it 12? That's 12. Now start with the next higher number, that's 2, which divides 12. 2 times 6. 3 times 4. Now I think we got all the possible factors, and the one which takes my interest is 3 and 4 because I need 7. But we need actually negative 7, so we need both of them to be negative. So my first expression is going to be x minus 3, and my second expression, in this case the factor is going to be x minus 4 is equals to 0. Either the first expression equal to 0 or the second expression to be 0. Take 3 to the other side, so I got the value of x as 3. Take 4 to the other side, I got the value of x as 4. And this is how you solve it. Let's take one more example. It is x squared minus 4x minus 60 equals to 0. We can see that the leading coefficient is 1. Now we need to find two factors of negative 60 so as to get negative 4 when you add them. Now what are the two factors of negative 60? 1 and negative 60. 2 times negative 30. 3 times negative 20. 4 times negative 15. 5 times negative 12. 6 times negative 10. These are the all possible factors. Now what takes my interest is 6 and negative 10, right? So 6 minus 10, that gives you negative 4. So my first factor is going to be x plus 6. This is a plus 6 we got. And the other thing is going to be x minus 10. And that's equals to 0. Either the first expression equal to 0 or the second expression equals to 0. Take 6 to the other side. That gives me x equals to negative 6. Take this 10 to the other side. That gives me plus 10. Or in simple words, here I subtracted 6 on both sides and I added 10 on both sides. And I got x equal to negative 6 and x equal to 10 as the answer. What if the leading coefficient is not 1? So let's take an example. 5x squared plus 3x minus 14 equals to 0. Now in this case, the leading coefficient is 5 and the constant term is negative 14. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to multiply these two terms. What's 5 times negative 14? That's negative 70. Now we need to find two factors of negative 70. When you add them, you get 3. So the first thing what I can think of is 1 and negative 70. 1 times negative 70 gives you negative 70. 2 times negative 35. 3 does not divide negative 70. 4 does not divide negative 70. And 5. 5 does that. 5 times negative 14. Still I'm not getting 3 from anywhere. Next what I can think of is 7. 7 times negative 10, right? But in this case I need the positive 3. So my larger number should be positive and my smaller number should be negative. So these are my factors of negative 70, which gives me 3 when you add them. So I can write this as now 5x squared. I'll rewrite 3x as 10x minus 7x. So this is 10x minus 7x minus 14 is still there equals to 0. This is my first pair and the GCF of these two terms is 5x. So I'll take 5x as common. Now if I'm taking 5x as common, we need to divide the terms inside by 5x. So for your understanding, I'm doing it over here. 5x squared divided by 5x and 10x divided by 5x. Now from the next pair, negative 7x minus 14, the GCF is negative 7. So I'm dividing both of these terms by negative 7. So negative 7x divided by negative 7, negative 14 divided by negative 7. Now 5x. Now what is 5x squared divided by 5x? That is x. Now what is 10 divided by 5? That's 2. And x cancels x. What's negative 7 divided by negative 7? That's x. That's plus 7 times 2. Now as long as you're getting the same term inside the parentheses, you are on the right track. We'll take the common again. And the other term which I have, the left one, is 5x minus 7. Now either x plus 2 equals to 0 or 5x minus 7 equals to 0. If x plus 2 equals to 0, I'll subtract 2 from both sides to get rid of that 2. So I got the value of x as negative 2, right? And the other expression which I got here, the factor 5x minus 7 equals to 0, I'll add 7 on both sides. So I got 5x equals to 7. 5 is in multiply. What's opposite of multiply? Divide. And that gives me the answer for x as 7 over 5. There are so many quadratic equations which cannot be factorized completely. In that case, the quadratic formula comes in handy. So let's solve the same example we did before and try to solve it by using the quadratic formula. So our equation was x squared minus 4x minus 60 equals to 0. And the answers, if we remember, the answer for x was 10 and the other answer was negative 6. So let's apply quadratic formula to check these answers. Now, first of all, I want to find out what is the value of a, b, and c. A is always the coefficient of x squared, which is 1 in this case. B is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. The quadratic formula is x equals to negative b plus minus root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now we'll plug in the corresponding values. The value of b over here is negative 4. The value of b is negative 4. 4 into a. The value of a is 1. And the value of c is negative 60, right? In the denominator 2 times 8 and the value of a is 1. Negative times negative, that makes it positive. Now negative 4 squared, that's 16. Negative 4 times 1, that's negative 4, times negative 60, that's 240 in addition. And in the denominator, I have 2. Solving it further, we got x equals to 4 plus minus root of, now what's 240 plus 16? That's 256. And in the denominator, I have 2. Now I can separate them. X equals to 4. Now what is root of 256? The root of 256 is 16. So that is 4 plus 16 over 2. And the other one is 4 minus 16 over 2. The value of x equals to, now 16 plus 4, that's 20 over 2, which gives us 10. Now in this case, x equals to 4 minus 12, negative 12 over 2, which gives us negative 6. And we can see that these two answers exactly matches with the answers which we already got. And that's how we work with the quadratic equation. Be sure to practice with the worksheet which is linked in the description. If this video helped, do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel.